Good morning. It's Saturday, July the 17th or the 18th, I think. I don't know. We are here at the Fraser Park Library, and we will have a little conversation with Charlotte van Houten, who played a couple of minutes ago for 2 hours as part of the summer music program here at the Fraser Park Library. Her little instruments that we see in front of her, the viola. Charlotte is a resident here in the Fraser Mountain communities. And Charlotte, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Charlotte van Houten. I have been playing music for as long as I can remember. Music has always been a part of my life. My parents are both musicians. My dad is a professional tuba player. He played on just recently Jurassic World and Tomorrowland and Inside Out. And my mom, they actually met at a gig, and she's a piano player and a singer. And they were setting up together, and then he asked her out to coffee. So that's how they met, and that's how I came about. So my whole family is musical, and so it's kind of natural that I fell into it.
Very nice. So you grew up here in the Fraser Mountain communities, or where?
Well, I was born in Long Beach in California, Southern California, and I grew up there and in Lakewood until I was 7 years old, and then I moved up to the mountain communities to Pinyon Pines when I was 7, and I've lived there ever since.
Ever since. So tell me a little bit about your music, the instruments you played. You probably, as a young kid, you didn't start with the viola, or did
No,
you?
I didn't. I started as a pianist actually. When I was 3, my mom took me to several piano lessons, and I was sort of, not to sound really conceited or anything, but I was a child piano prodigy. And I competed in several Bach competitions and local competitions and did several recitals, some of them with my dad, who is, as I said before, a professional tuba player. But when I turned about 6 or 7, I kind of fell out of it. It wasn't fun anymore because it was such a rigorous schedule, and I was a little kid. All I wanted to do was play. My mom let me stop, and I think that was one of the smartest decisions she's ever made, because it was wonderful to give me the start in music, but she didn't make me do it, and she didn't make it into something I hated. She let me stop and let me come back to it on my own, and I think that's made me the musician I am today, is that I wanted to play when I came back. It was something I wanted. So, when I was about 8 years old and we'd moved up here, my dad started a local community band, and I wanted to play in it. So my grandpa, who collects brass instruments, gave me a euphonium, which is the smaller version of a tuba, and I started playing that in the community band. And I moved from there to flute and guitar and recorder and voice. I'm a classically trained opera singer, but I didn't really fall in love with music until I picked up the viola when I was 13. And ever since I, started playing this, I've just been in love with music. It's been my life. It's been just everything. I don't know what my life would be like without music. I can't imagine a world without music. It would kill me. I wouldn't have a reason to live. But I love playing. I feel so alive when I play, and that's why I decided to I'm trying to become a studio musician like my dad. My dad gets to play on movies and bring stories to life and make them more realistic with music. And I love that I'm able to do that. I have the connections, luckily. My dad hooked me up with an amazing viola teacher, Lynn Grants, who I absolutely adore and who's taught me so much and who is really helping me. I'm auditioning for college this fall and in early next winter. I'm really excited and very nervous, but I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for my musical journey to, continue and to see myself grow and change into the viola player I hope to one day be, and I'm really enjoying the journey so far.
Tell us a little bit about the viola. What is the viola? What does it make it different from a violin? Tell me a little bit about that instrument.
That's a good question. The viola is, I think it was invented during the Baroque period. And I think it was invented in the Baroque period or shortly before.
I have no idea what a Baroque period is.
The Baroque period is a period in music. So they're classified by Romantic period, Baroque period, Classical period. I think the viola came about during the Baroque period. Don't quote me on it though. But it is slightly larger than the violin. Well, some of them are slightly larger and some of them are a good deal bigger. Mine is a good deal bigger because I have freakishly long arms, so I get to play, which is perfect for a viola player, which means I get to, you can see, this is the perfect distance. If I can cup it in my hand when it's on my shoulder, that means that it is perfect for, that's the perfect size for me. And yeah, I actually started playing on a much smaller instrument, 15 inches, but yeah, violas tend to run a little bit bigger than violins. They are actually a little lower than violins. And so instead of having, I can show you exactly, this is what the top string of the violin sounds like, and the bottom string of the violin is a G string. So a G and an E. And the top string of a viola is an A, and the bottom string is a C. And these are actually the top and bottom strings of the cello. So the viola is an octave above the cello. And my sister actually plays the cello. So there are lots of fun viola-cello duets that we do together. And it's really fun because we can play the same stuff because the viola can often play any cello part because it's the same strings. Mm-hmm. It's harder to play violin parts because if you play them and don't transpose them down the fifth to accommodate the viola, then you're playing up in the stratosphere here. Here, I think this is the highest you can play. Although some people will go up to here too when they're bowing, just to touch on that. But yeah, because a lot of people think that we just stay up here in our normal position. And this is first position, the easiest position, which everyone learns at the beginning. But a lot of times we're up here and up there, and we have to shift back and forth, especially on the viola, because in violin too, on all string instruments really, because there's a lot more notes than just. Yeah.
So you mentioned your sister's playing an instrument too. How many siblings do you have?
Oh, I just have one sister. Her name is Grace, and she's a cellist.
She's a cellist. So tell me from your experience and from your, meeting other young musicians, how important do you think it is for a kid, a young child, to learn an instrument or to learn about music?
I think it's one of the most important things and one of the best things that a parent can do for their child is provide them with the gift of learning an instrument. I think that music helps kids with so many subjects, with math, English, it helps with critical thinking, it helps with concentration, because most kids, it's recommended to play for at least an hour every day. And that takes a lot of concentration, especially for a young child. And the ability to focus, especially if you start from a young age, giving your child the ability to focus on one thing for a period of time, like an hour, half an hour, 20 minutes, or 2 hours, that's such an important thing. It's an important skill to learn. Concentrating on something other than TV. But it's a really important skill to learn, to concentrate on something and to watch yourself. And to watch yourself, I think it's important for a child to watch themselves turn from this novice, this beginner who can barely play a scale, or who struggles through Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, into this amazing virtuoso, or someone who can play not even a virtuosic level, even can be able to play pieces or play with an orchestra. Speaking of orchestras, I think putting your child in an orchestra is an amazing thing, because it teaches teamwork, it teaches playing together, it teaches counting, it teaches following a leader, and it teaches leading, because a lot of times you'll be in a section of an orchestra and some people will get lost. I have gotten lost several times in orchestra pieces, I'll tell you that. But the ability to be either the person who gets lost and then finds their way back to the music, or the person who doesn't get lost but leads the other people back to the music, that's a wonderful role, and it's wonderful to have that opportunity. And I think that every kid should be able to find their way to music and be able to find their place through music. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you so very much. That was Charlotte here from the Mountain Communities.